So I set off with the truck, with the trailer, all loaded up, and I'm just watching this gauge go down. Unbelievably quick. So one of the first electric trucks to come to market in the US was the Ford Lightning EV, the second coming of the Ford Lightning, or really the third generation if you think about it, because there's the first one that had a really cool sort of blacked out body kit, but not much performance, the 5.8 liter under the hood, but it was mostly all show and not much go. I personally love the second generation Lightning and have one, red just like the one in the first Fast and Furious film, that has a supercharged 5.4 liter under the hood, mid 300s in the horsepower, flare side bed, really cool looking. But they were sport trucks. That's what the Lightning was supposed to be, but they decided to bring it back as an electric. They also brought back the Mustang as an electric SUV, which terrible thing. But the electric Lightning pickup trucks seem cool enough, seem intriguing to me, because unlike other electric pickup trucks, they didn't create a ground-up fresh platform for this pickup truck. They just modified the stock F-150 pickup truck and made it into electric. And my buddy Rob Santori was actually first in line to get one in Wichita, Kansas, and he was actually going to flake out on the deal. He was going to back out. I said, oh, no, you can't do that, because I want to make YouTube videos. So I'll go in half with you for a year, and you can make your payments. I'll put half down, and you can drive it for a year. I'll use it as well. We'll get a bunch of miles on it, and then after a year, we can probably sell it and not lose money. So he agreed to that premise, and really it was the perfect way to do a long-term test on a vehicle, because I made videos when it was appropriate. When there were any problems, he pointed them out, and I'd give updates as the year went on. But it was immediately evident that the truck had some serious limitations. Using the existing F-150 platform and then just slapping in a battery and not much thought to, as far as thermal management and other things to make it more aerodynamic, make it lighter, that kind of stuff. The truck was very compromised, and the biggest problem was during the winter. Because it didn't have really good battery heating, it was just the car's cabin heater that also heated the batteries, the range was dramatically diminished in the winter. And their tips to get better winter performance was to not use the cabin heat and just use the seat heaters. That was really stupid, but the really dumb part of the Lightning was when you tried to tow. And then tow in the winter, forget about it. So I set out on what I thought would be a pretty easy towing challenge. I had a light aluminum trailer and a Ford Model A pickup truck. So 100 years difference in Ford pickup trucks. I thought it was a pretty cool sort of scene to put together for a thumbnail. And I was just going to tow it up to my mechanic, the Car Wizard, about 30 miles away, drop off the Model A to get fixed, and then drive back with an empty trailer. The range on these things is supposed to be 200 and something miles. This was the standard range truck, so not the long range one. I think it's about 230 in ideal conditions, something like that. And I only had to go 60 miles on a full charge. So I set off with the truck, with the trailer, all loaded up, and I'm just watching this gauge go down. Unbelievably quick, like crazy quick. And I'm going normal highway speeds. I'm not thrashing it. They also say, for ideal conditions, you should go 55, 60 miles an hour. But the speed limit on the interstate is 75. I would be a hindrance going that slow trailering. So I get up to the Car Wizard, and I've already used half of my battery supply to get up there. More than half. With a fully loaded trailer, I mean, we're talking 4,000 pounds, half the towing capacity of what this truck is supposed to do. I just couldn't believe it. But the trailer was empty going back down. So I thought, okay, well, it might do better. It didn't do any better. So I get back to my house, and it has the low range warning on. 230 miles worth of range, supposedly completely gone in 60 miles, which is nuts. So in reality, with towing a light load, the range on this thing was less than 100 miles. And I couldn't believe it. I posted the YouTube video just showing what happened in my circumstances. And, I didn't think much of it. I thought, hey, this would probably be a pretty good video. But it turned out to be one of my most viral videos ever. And I got shared in places that I never imagined that I would get shared. Starting with Fox News and Sean Hannity and a bunch of other blogs and sites, which was fine. It was interesting. It led to a lot more views, but things really went off the rails when I ended up on Alex Jones's show, which, if you don't know who he is the crazy conspiracy theorist who actually had his whole company, InfoWars, taken away from him because he thought the Sandy Hook tragedy was a total conspiracy. And there's probably some conspiracy people that believe him that are going to say in the comments, oh, it's all made up. But he got in trouble for that, got sued out of existence, and is now, I don't know, he's still making videos in his basement, I think. But everything is a conspiracy, and everything that just comes out of his head, there's no filter. He just says it. If he thinks it, he says it. And it's pretty insane stuff that he has said over the years, and a lot of people were believing it. So he decided on his blog or his show to do a reaction to my video, and he definitely didn't watch it beforehand. His producer probably watched it, put it in front of him, and he reacted in real time. So I had a shot of me driving in my neighborhood. I'm probably going 20 miles an hour, and he's saying, look, see, I can't even go 20 miles an hour towing. My Volkswagen Beetle, my first car, could tow better than this piece of junk. Just stuff like that, just spitting whatever comes to his head immediately, and then talking about how this is all a big conspiracy with electric cars to, keep people from being able to travel or something. It was totally nuts. And I get some people's argument, as far as the logical people, that the EV mandate made no sense because the technology and the charging infrastructure just wasn't there yet. People don't want to sit for 45 minutes an hour and charge every 2 or 3 hours, and we'd have stores the size of Buc-ee's to accommodate all these electric cars sitting and charging everywhere if this EV mandate, where all the cars have to be electric by a certain time, actually came to fruition. And a lot of people just don't like EVs and don't like being told what they can and cannot buy. So I totally understand that sense. But the result of that video getting shared everywhere and politicized made it one of my most viewed videos of all time. Over 3 million views. And the ad revenue, I think it's my highest ad revenue video, because it made $26,000 one video in ads. So apparently the target market for these videos, the people watching these videos, they had a very high ad rate, all these very angry people at electric cars. And that's what determines the YouTube ad rate, is who is watching. So the people who watch those videos very fired up, angry at EVs, great ad rates. So I'd love for them to come back and watch some more videos. So as for the Lightning, we ended up selling it about 8 to 10 months in, because everybody was figuring out the limitations of it, and the people who were buying them were quickly selling them, and they were starting to sell for under their MSRP. We got out for, I think, MSRP, didn't lose any money miraculously, but now if you look on Autotipus and search those early F-150 Lightnings, they're easy to find in the low to mid 40s, which probably they sit for sale at that price because they're getting even cheaper, which in the electric world, that isn't the worst appreciation, because it was a mid-60s truck new, but still in the truck world, where trucks usually hold their values well, not all that good. But honestly, I wouldn't recommend a Lightning. If you're getting an electric truck, some of the newer ones with General Motors and having the longer range is nice, but they're $100,000, so they're all very expensive. Buy a Maverick. They're a hybrid. They get 40 miles per gallon. They're like $25,000. That makes a lot more sense to me.
This month of VINwiki content is brought to you by Bridgestone, and the most exciting news out of Bridgestone is the new release of their Turanza Prestige tire. It is their flagship Grand Touring tire, targeting luxury SUVs, crossovers, and sedans, like a Mercedes S-Class or a BMW X7. And this gives you all the whisper quiet ride that you want in a high-end luxury experience, as well as the wet and dry weather performance that we love from Bridgestone. And you'll get some of the greatest longevity they've ever had on street tires, 70,000 mile limited warranty. So we love Bridgestone for their sports car and supercar tires in the Potenza range. Of course, the Dueler AT Ascent that I've got on my Porsche Cayenne, I absolutely love. But whatever you're looking to find tires for, Bridgestone has something great. So check them out now at the link in the description below to learn more about the Bridgestone family of tires.